Are you Drake, J. Cole, or Kendrick? Let's find out. So we all know about the beef going on. All the beef. All the rappers is beefing, okay? Originally I thought this beef was fake. Originally I thought that the male rappers got together and they said they were tired of the female rappers killing the game. And they was like, we gotta go in and change this shit up. So with these latest disses, I'm not thinking it's fake anymore. So we all know that Kendrick Lamar was on the Like That song, diss drop, song was fire. J. Cole jumped in it. We all know. J. Cole jumped in it and then jumped out of it. We all know this. And now Kendrick and Drake are going back to back, okay? So when we're talking about are you Drake, J. Cole, or Kendrick, although this is about rap, although this is about music, I am a conscious living coach and I help guide millennials out of survival mode and into a balanced lifestyle. So this is more so about their consciousness, the way that they show up in media, the way that they show up in hip hop, the way that they show up with their fans. And so that's what this video is going to be about. I'm excited you're here. Click like, subscribe, and enjoy. All right, so let's start with Drake. We know that Drake is a global superstar. We know that he can sell out arenas in other countries. We know these things about Drake. Many of us were introduced, including myself, to Drake as Jimmy on Degrassi. So many of us saw his very first music video, his very first song. What was it? I can't think of the name of the song, but it was with Trey Songz, and it would come on the Degrassi commercials. Like every commercial break, we would hear that song, and I liked the song back then. I never thought he would become this big global superstar, but I liked the song back then. Cool, nice song, no doubt. There's no doubt about his talent to co-create hits, co-create hits. Okay, but Drake has also always been accused of being a culture vulture. And on a conscious level, someone who is a culture vulture is someone who's having an identity crisis. This is someone who is not confident in who they are and their history and their parents and their bloodline. They're not confident in those things. And so it's just easier for them to cosplay other accents. It's easier for them to cosplay other cultures. It's easier for them to just be whatever's popular at the time, whatever they see someone else doing. Because I don't, in my opinion, I don't think Drake is like an originator. I don't see him as someone who is a trendsetter. I see him as someone who, whatever he knows is going to go up on social media, whatever he knows is going to go up with his fans. That's what he's going to drop. That's what he's going to create. That's what he's going to make. I feel like when he does try to be a trendsetter and does his own thing, his fans don't like that. His fans don't like that. His large fan base does not like that because a lot of people didn't like his disco album. A lot of people didn't like. A lot of his fans did not like his disco album. Whereas I thought that I didn't like it either, but I thought it was creative. I thought it was good for him to do something different. But I feel like because his fans don't like him to be that way, he just does whatever's more popular because he knows that's what his fans like. Which, as a music artist, that makes sense. I fully understand. But as a conscious person, as a conscious living coach, I think it's more important to be your authentic self in media and to be your authentic self in hip hop, and then let those who are for you attract to that. He's also been accused of style jocking. I think a perfect example of him jocking somebody else's style was Smino. I know there was a post about the clips in his hair, which I'm going to add to the video. There's a post about the clips in his hair, just different styles that he's worn that other artists have already done as their authentic self, but he cosplays those things. We talk about the accents. I think Megan dropped a line in one of her songs, and she was like, fake ass accents." Posted in another man. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna post that line too. So yeah, he's been accused of all these things that let us know that he doesn't have an identity that is just his own in media. I don't know this man personally, but he doesn't have an identity that's just his own in media. And that can be problematic in the hip hop world, in the media world, because when it's time to diss, when it's time for things like this that's going on right now, it's your easy target. When you're not being your authentic self and you're not showing up as your full self, you are an easy target. It's easy for someone to attack the way that you dress, to attack the way that you talk, the way that you walk. It's easy to be attacked on these things when you're not showing up as your authentic self. And yes, people get attacked for being their authentic self too. But when someone is attacked for being their authentic self, they can just stand in who they are. It's, I don't give a damn about what you're saying because this is who I am. You don't have to like it. You don't have to accept it. But when someone who's being accused of being a culture vulture and someone who's being accused of jocking other people's styles is being attacked for those things, it's hard to stand your ground because internally, you know that you weren't doing those things as your authentic self. You know that you were only doing those things because social media will like it, because your fans will like it. You know that these things are, you know, they're only part of your image, but they're not part of who you are as a person, as someone who is a father, as someone who moves in this world like a boss. Also, Drake's identity tends to be directly related to his personal connections and his accolades. Anytime that you decide that your success, that these physical things, these worldly things, are going to decide who you are as a person and going to decide how big you show up in this world, it's not good. It's not good because these things can be taken from you. Look at all of these artists in 2024 that have fallen. They've been on top for 2, 3, 4 decades, but they have fallen because they have put all of their efforts and all of their work into their accolades, but not into nurturing their families, not into nurturing their friendships, not into nurturing themselves, not into taking care of things that actually matter in the long run. But when you care about awards, when you care about the money in your account, when the only thing that you care about is the power, the money, the success, it's easy to be taken from you. And as soon as that's taken from you, as that's stripped from you, now you're going into an even deeper identity crisis because all of these things that you thought made you who you were never did. And then you have to go in and do the internal work to realize, damn, I got to figure out who I am outside of being a rap artist. I got to figure out who I am outside of being someone who won Grammys, outside of someone who's been award, outside of someone who sells out arenas, outside of someone who can travel across the country, do whatever I want, spend however I want, all these things. You have to learn who you are outside of these things. And since he is someone who values money, power, women over everything else, he's just a true capitalist. He is a true capitalist to the T. He is a true capitalist. And the issue with being a true capitalist is that now that we're in this late stage capitalism, now that we're going into a place where eventually this is not going to be the way we live. I don't know how many years it's going to take for us to completely get out of it, but we are at the late stages of it. And the issue with that is that all of those things that you made important are now about to no longer matter. They're now about to, the awards you win are not going to matter anymore. The money you have is not going to matter anymore. The connections you have is not going to matter anymore because you're not fueling consciousness. You're not fueling people to make better, healthier choices. You're not fueling experiences that are good for the soul. They're good for the soul. So I want you to think, can you relate to Drake most? Is money more important to you than anything else? Is power more important to you than anything else? Is the accolades that someone has, is that what sticks out to you? If someone has a master's degree, are you going to give them more respect than someone who doesn't have a degree at all? If someone has $1 million, are you going to give them more respect than someone that has 50? You have to, is that, can you relate to that? You have to start asking yourself that. Next up, we have J. Cole. So J. Cole is well known for being a woke rapper. We know that J. Cole is a woke rapper. He's a conscious rapper. He raps about what's really going on in the world. So I find J. Cole to be a versatile artist because I feel like he can hop on the track and make some ass shaking music, but then he can also have you sitting down ready to pray and get closer and connected to your inner self and your inner truth. So I feel like he speaks for the culture very well. He speaks for the conscious culture very well. Especially with KOD. I love the album KOD. Love the album because the kids is on drugs. It, the kids is on drugs. Okay. So I love KOD. I love the way that he showed his versatility because a lot of times people see J. Cole as a woke rapper and he think that he can't rap like these other rap artists that aren't conscious rappers, that aren't woke rappers. So I love the versatility on that album because he kind of like showed us like I can do that shit too, which that's easy. Any kid singing a lullaby can rap like an unconscious rapper. Just FYI. Recently, he was accused of watering down the rap game by the game, which I'm a fan of the game too, so no biases here. So he was accused of watering down the rap game because of his apology to Kendrick Lamar with the 7 minute for the 7 minute drill removal, which in my opinion, this is again an example of a man showing up as his authentic self and being aware of what's going on in his world and in the hip hop world in order to know that I don't want no parts of this. That man used his God given discernment to say, I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts. There's also a meme going around where it says something like, y'all was clowning J. Cole a whole time. He was like, I know these Negroes, y'all don't. And I love that because we are, at the end of the day, outsiders. We are only commentators. We are only spectators in this whole incident, right? So it's like he knows this man. J. Cole knows these men personally. He knows probably secrets about these men. They know probably secrets about him. And he knew that to protect his family, to protect his energy, to protect his peace, that it was time to step out. It was time to bow out. It was like, I'm not gonna get involved in this. I'm gonna let y'all handle this. This was never my beef. It was never my situation. And so I don't want any parts in it. And I respect a man that will step back and have that level of self-awareness. Now the hip hop world did not. And it's honestly disheartening how much the hip hop world enjoys hate and enjoys just negativity. It's like if you're not threatening to kill someone, it's not hip hop. If you're not threatening to cause harm, it's not hip hop. If you're showing up as a man, as a healed man, as a woke man, it's not hip hop. So I don't like that idea that because J. Cole took his diss back that he's not hip hop or that he's watering down hip hop. Only because hip hop does not have to be misogynistic. It does not have to be woman hating, black women hating specifically. It does not, hip hop does not have to be all of these negative things that we have turned it into. Hip hop should continue to be a place where people can freely speak their mind about their experiences, where they can freely talk about what's going on in the world and keep people's attention on what's going on in the world. Because the moment we lose grip of what's going on in the world, we lose our power, we lose our access, we lose the things that actually matter long term. So, in my opinion, J. Cole shows up as someone who is super self aware. He's very, very cognizant of what's going on around him. He's very cognizant of what's going on in the world. And he uses his discernment to decide what he's going to do. He doesn't follow social media trends. He doesn't do whatever he feels like the fans just want him to do. He's going to use his discernment to make business decisions. He's going to use his discernment when he's making music. He's going to use his discernment before he makes major life moves, because dropping a diss track in hip hop in the rap world is a life move that impacts your life. It impacts your life so much that we have so many rappers that have passed, that have been murdered, that have been killed because of a diss track. Because of a diss track. So using your discernment to decide that you don't want to be a part of that kind of behavior, there's nothing wrong with that. So I want you to ask yourself, are you more like J. Cole? Are you someone who's like, I'm gonna think about it and I'm gonna see what God tells me to do. I'm gonna see what my gut tells me to do. I'm gonna see what my spirit tells me to do. Are you like J. Cole? Last but not least, let's get into Kendrick Lamar. So he, of course, is another would be considered a woke rapper, would be considered a conscious rapper. Now, Kendrick Lamar prides himself on being a positive impact on hip hop culture. He's very much I said what I said. He is very much I said what I said. Like, no lie, I can't imagine him taking a diss back, even if he decided he no longer meant that. I think he would just double down on what he said and then be like, but no beef. So I feel like Kendrick Lamar is very much a I said what I said type of person, and he doesn't really care about what people are going to say about him. He doesn't care about what people are going to think about him. He doesn't care about what society is going to say about how he raps, what he raps about, the topics, the things he says. This man is a Pulitzer Award winner. I think a lot of people keep skipping over that, and I don't like that. So Kendrick Lamar is very methodical, okay? Methodical. Because how does Drake drop a diss song titled Family Matters And you drop us this song 15 minutes later titled Meet the Grams. That man is playing chess in a way I ain't never seen before. He's playing chess in a way that I have never seen before because he's methodical. He's studied his craft. He's perfected the craft. He's practiced the craft over and over and over again to the point where you're not gonna touch him when it comes to rapping. You're not gonna touch. He can battle rap. He can freestyle rap. He's able to create songs that you can shake your ass to. Again, very versatile rapper because you can. Kendrick Lamar can drop something, shake your ass to, but he'll also drop something that will have you down on your knees talking to God. That's what I like. I feel like anytime you have major influence over a culture, over a society, over a group of people, there has to be some kind of positive impact in that. Like everything, everybody's not a woke conscious artist, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But if you are going to be making impact in people's lives, you need to be asking yourself, are you making them better or worse? Are you making them better or worse? And I feel like Kendrick Lamar is one of those artists that will listening to his music will help make you better. It'll help you push yourself to do the things that you're scared to do. It'll help you see versions of yourself that you're scared to face, see versions of yourself that you are running from. And that is what is most important to me when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to music, is to be able to not only escape, but to go to a place that feels good. Like I don't want to be called a bitch in a hole every 2 seconds on the song. Like I don't want to be disrespected every 2 seconds on the song for the sake of shaking my ass. Like I am in a place where I'm almost 30. I'm over that phase of life where that's what I want to hear. And don't get me wrong, I love ratchet music. I still listen to some ratchet music. I'm all about shaking my ass. Okay, word to Megan. But it just gets to a point where it's like you don't get tired of that. Like it's not exhausting anymore to listen to music that is just essentially degrading black women and essentially telling black women that all we are good for is sex and all that we are good for is pleasing a man. When that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Not when we're birthers. Not when we're healers. Not when we are the people that are transforming this world. Okay. Kendrick Lamar, I definitely feel like he's a trendsetter. I feel like he doesn't care about what's going to be said about him. He doesn't care about other rap artists' views of him and the culture. He doesn't care about none of these things. He's going to say what he said and he's going to double down on it. And that's going to be what it is. So Kendrick used his access, he used his knowledge to craft something. A lot of rap artists are not crafting music. They're just saying anything. They just get in the booth and say whatever they want off a perk. You know, a lot of rap artists, that's what they do, and a lot of people love it. So that's the reason why it's so popular. But Kendrick crafted these diss tracks. He crafted this music. He used all his studying. He used all his practice. He used his skill, his true skill set, not no one else's, not a ghostwriter, not no one else's skill set. He used his true skill set to show that he could craft a piece of art. He could craft something that would get the people going and get the people going based on truths. Like I think one of his lines, he says, "Don't tell lies on me. I won't tell truths on you." Exactly. So when you're showing up as your authentic self, someone lying on you does not matter. It doesn't matter when you're showing up as your authentic self. Someone lying on you doesn't matter because you know who you are and you got the receipts to prove it. Whereas someone who is lying, someone who is living a life of lies, the truth will always come out. The truth can always come out. Always. Somebody knows the truth, and someone can be paid enough, or someone can be sick and tired enough, and someone can be um over it enough to tell that truth. The truth will always come out. So when you're living a lie, it's only gonna last for so long. Even if it lasts 4 decades, it's only gonna last for so long. All right, now for me, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm very much J. Cole. Very much J. Cole. I'm not getting involved in no beef. I'm not getting one, I know too much. So I'm not getting involved because I don't ever want to be in a position where I am comfortable expressing something that someone told me in confidence. That's not who I am. So I feel like J. Cole realized that that's not who he is and decided to bow out. He decided that he didn't want to be someone known for telling someone else's secrets or telling someone else's truths, and didn't want the impact of that in his life. He didn't want the impact of that in his life. And it's funny because I keep seeing memes where it's like J. Cole is somewhere sipping wine and chilling on the balcony kind of thing. Like he's somewhere in the woods having a good time. And yes, like he is. He's somewhere chilling now, enjoying this with the rest of us. Whereas Drake is somewhere constantly trying to respond to Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar is somewhere sitting back, ready to press. He's somewhere sitting back, ready to press submit on a diss track. So it's like when the reason I'm asking like which one are you is because I want you to have a clear idea of how you're showing up in your own life. Because if you're showing up as Drake, you're having a hard time showing up as your authentic self. You're having a hard time not absorbing other people's personalities. I talked about this on Balanced Millennial Monday last week, where we talked about absorbing other people's personalities solely because you just don't like yours enough, solely because you just don't love who you are enough to show up as your authentic self. Because that, at the end of the day, that's what it is. If you have not done the internal work to show up as your authentic self, you are going to constantly be trying to show up as somebody else all the time, all the time. So I want you to ask yourself, which one are you? Are you Drake? Are you having a hard time showing up as your authentic self? So you're just following a trend, you're just following the wave, you're just kind of trying to see what hits, what lands, what sticks, so you can go with it. Are you J. Cole? Are you someone who's going to reassess your actions? You're going to reflect on your actions and you're going to apologize when an apology is needed. You're going to speak on things that need to be spoke on, and you're not going to feel any shame about it. You're not going to feel shame for apologizing. You're not going to feel shame for doing something that went against who you were, because you understand that moving forward, you can just do it better. You can just do it different. Or are you Kendrick and you said what you said and you ain't taking shit back? And you standing on that, okay? Are you Kendrick? Are you showing up as your authentic self? And your authentic self likes to get rowdy. Your authentic self likes to call people out for injustice, for disrespect, for not being authentic themselves. Are you showing up in your own life in such a calm, cool, collected way that can't nobody even get dirt on you? Can't nobody even find secrets about you because you're showing up so authentic and you're showing up as such your true self that there are no hidden truths. There are no hidden secrets. You just are who you are. Thank y'all so much for watching, and thank y'all for joining me again. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I want you to use this beat to understand yourself better, because which one are you? Are you Drake, J. Cole, or Kendrick Lamar? And until next time, y'all, I am Key, the conscious living coach, and I help guide millennials out of survival mode and into a more balanced lifestyle. If you're ever interested in working with me, check out my website at premierpersonalgrowthfirm.com, and I'll be happy to see if I can help.